السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Since we are in the paranoia of disease and corona, there's a beautiful chapter in this beautiful book which I always recommend it as a book for da'wah, that any person of da'wah should be having this book with him. It's سلسلة الأحاديث الصحيحة مرتبة على الأبواب الفقهية. All are authentic and it's been ordered by the fiqh issues. It's very beautiful. So in this book, page 421, there is a special chapter called الطب والعيادة. طب is medicine, عيادة is, today we call it clinic, but it renders to the source of عاد يعود. It's from visiting the patients or caring for the patient people. So we start with this hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, إذا اشتكى العبد المسلم. طبعا before I begin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inflicts with this disease that we see it nowadays. He inflicts whom He will. There are certain sects who claimed that the corona, the source of corona is, I mean, you may laugh if I say that, but that's what they said. They said it's Aisha behind corona. It's very silly. But now this corona is affecting their country and their politicians precisely. It seems they are implementing, because they say that Aisha allowed eating the rats. And I've been checking this, wallahi, thoroughly, that I may find any narration with chained, yani, with narration. Wallahi, I didn't find any. Never, there's nothing. But if there is something that Aisha said, it seems that they are applying this ruling of Aisha, because now we see the victims among them are much more than, it's the second country after China. And it's targeting who? Certain clerics and politicians. I can see this, wallahi, a clear miracle. Anyway, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, إذا اشتكى العبد المسلم, if the servant Muslim suffers, complains, قال الله للذين يكتبون, then Allah will be saying to those who write, that means the angels, اكتبوا له أفضل ما كان يعمل إذا كان طلقا حتى أطلقه. Write for him the best of what he used to do. For example, if I became sick and I could not go to the masjid, write in his credit of good rewards the best way of going to, maybe give him the reward of going to the most further masjid. So more than give him the reward of what he used to do and even more. This is Allah's mercy. He's powerful. He's so kind. He's so powerful, but so kindness. Who created kindness? Who created tolerance? Who created beauty? He is ever greater than what you think of someone who has tolerance, kindness, and beauty. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah grant us and you the greatest favor of seeing Allah in Jannah. Also, there's another hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said, أدعو له طبيب بني فلان. Someone had injury. The Prophet ﷺ said, call the so and so doctor. فدعوه فجاء. Then the doctor came. فقال يا رسول الله ويغني الدواء شيئا? Does medication suffices anything? Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Subhanallah. The Prophet was amazed with this question. وهل أنزل الله من داء في الأرض إلا جعل له شفاء? Is there any disease on earth, but Allah had made for that disease a cure, remedy? There's another hadith, تداووا عباد الله, O servants of Allah, seek medication, seek to be medicated, for there is no disease but Allah set for that disease a remedy, except al-maut. Another narration, al-haram, old aging. Allah exempted this. Otherwise, He could have made it a disease that can inspire on people to discover the remedy of it. Another hadith narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said, my brother has a problem in his stomach. استطلق بطنه. The Prophet said, اسقه عسلا. Give him asal. Then he came. He said, "Oh Prophet, I gave him asal, but it increased him nothing but more disease, more pain." Then he said to him, اسقه عسلا, اسقه عسلا, اسقه عسلا, 3 times. Then the man came on the 4th time and he said, Ya Rasulullah, I had given him honey and he did not recover yet. The Prophet didn't consider what he said, but he said, alayhi salatu wassalam, صدق الله وكذب بطن أخيك. Allah is truthful, but the stomach of your brother is liar. So the Prophet was persisting. He was persisting that the asal gives shifa. Maybe this man is hastening. He wants asal to be giving instant cure very easily and instantly. Or maybe the asal he has was mixed with something else. Subhanallah. I like it. I like what he said. Allah has spoken the truth, but the stomach of your brother is making lie. Then he gave him after that, and he was recovered. At the 5th, he gave him, and he was recovered. Also narrated by Aisha radiallahu anha, that the Prophet ﷺ said, الطاعون شهادة لأمتي. The plague is martyrdom for my nation. Shahada. من مات فيه مات شهيدا. Whoever died in it, he dies as shaheed. That's why this is one of the most beautiful things in this religion. Because the Prophet was saying, how do you consider the shuhada? He said, those who die for the sake of Allah. He said, then the martyrs in my nation are little. So, al-mat'unu, wal-mabtunu, wal-ghariqu, remind me of this, wal-hadam, al-mat'un, the one who was infected with ta'un plague, wal-mabtun, the one who died because of his stomach, wal-ghariq, and the drowning, and the one who died because of destruction, devastation. All of those are shaheed. But yes, martyrdom is of different levels. And the highest one is, yes, the person who went with his property, with his kettles, with his soul, and he returns with nothing. That's the best. It's also narrated that عائشة دخل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل على عائشة وامرأة ترقيها أو ترقيها. He came to Aisha while there was a woman that making ruqya for her. So the Prophet said, عالجيها بكتاب الله. He said, that means try to make the ruqya through the book of Allah. But some people, they say, no, you have to buy my own mixture of honey and oil and water, and they make money. And they insist to speak with the jinn. And they ask the jinn, where did he come from? What's your name? Are you Muslim? Are you Jew? Who are you? And I find that, with my respect, silly. Because jinn are liars. How do you ask a liar to give you some information? Well, he is a liar. And not only this, but their task is to deceive mankind. So how can you take information from him? That's why I value what Sheikh Albani said. He said, nothing but with the book of Allah, nothing else. Period. And that is supported by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also narrated by Ali that a scorpion bit the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam while he was praying. Then when he ended the prayer, he said, may Allah curse the scorpion. It doesn't leave a praying person, but it bites him. It doesn't leave. He didn't say, but it bites him. It doesn't leave. I have to be literally reading it. It does not leave a person in his prayer, nor anyone else. Then he called people to bring water and salt. And he started to rub on the place where he was bit by the scorpion and reciting قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِالْفَلَقِ and قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Yeah. And also narrated by Abu Hurairah, Abdullah bin Amr, that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever medicate, that means others, while he has no knowledge of it, he is guaranteeing, he's guarantor. That means if something wrong happened because of his ignorance in medication, he has to give guarantee. He has to compensate because he's guarantor, but he has no knowledge. Narrated by Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever visit a patient, he is being touched with mercy until he sit down. When he sit down, he will be targeted, hit by the mercy of Allah. He's yakhudu. Yakhud, that means he's going around the mercy of Allah. If he finished and he sat down, he will be achieving the mercy of Allah. Now this hadith here, that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, and the Shia, they use it. Oh, this is a strange hadith, subhanallah. Amrah bint Qais al-Adawiyya. She said, I entered to the house of Aisha and I asked her about running away from plague. زحف. الفرار من الطاعون. She said, I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, running from plague is as running from confrontation with the enemies. Running from plague is as running away from the enemy. It sounds strange, but it's extremely logic. Why? Because if you are in a place where plague is outbreaking, so when you allow yourself to go out, that means you are what? First, you are running from Shahada, because plague is Shahada. Second, you are involving other people, because you'll be the tools for that outbreaking easily to spread all over. You are infected with it, you have plague, you're shaheed. Unless there is a remedy for that. But at that time, there's no remedy. Now, nowadays, there is, inshallah, it is possible to be cured from that. But before, unless Allah wills something. In Europe, they ran away from plague, and that caused them a big price for this. They paid a big price. 25 million people died because of the plague. If they use that hadith, but they don't have insurance. They don't have the insurance. The insurance is for the mu'min, for the muwahhid, for the monotheist. Yes. Every monotheist has ahd with his Lord. Every monotheist. And this is by the barakah of his monotheism. He has ahd, has a covenant with Allah. His tawheed is covenant. His tawheed chases him even in hell because of some sins he committed, and Allah willed to punish him for that. His tawheed will interfere. As the people of hell are in hell with the believers, like the sinners, the mushrikeen will be saying to the believers, oh, you're here with us? Your religion did not suffice you anything? Then it will be said, رُبَمَا يَوَدُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ كَانُوا مُسْلِمِينَ. After that, wait. Then it will be said, let every muwahhid who says La ilaha illallah get out. Then the mushrikeen will be saying, Ya laytana kunna mu'minin, Ya laytana kunna muslimin. And that's why Allah said in this ayah, رُبَمَا يَوَدُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ كَانُوا مُسْلِمِينَ. The day will come, and the disbelievers suddenly will be saying, we wish we were Muslims. When the Muslims will be called to get out of hell. So they ran away from the plague, and as a result, 25 million people died. But with a Muslim, it is shahada. So this is amazing hadith. I didn't know about this hadith until now. That the Prophet ﷺ said, running away from plague is as running away from the army, from your enemy. Inshallah, we continue tomorrow, inshallah, at Maghrib. بإذن الله. جزاكم الله خيرا. صلى الله على محمد.